going to fix this door on this bucket. It doesn't latch right. It's wobbly. It doesn't line up with the latch. You can see here, it's got some cracks in it. There's no support inside or outside for this door. We're going to go around and look. You're going to see this latch right here. This latch mechanism is wobbly, not supported. That's why the door doesn't latch. It's kind of ugly. The door doesn't open, even a quarter of the way. So you can see this old stuff. And when we took this apart, which you'll see it cleaned up in a minute, but when we took that metal L apart, behind it was like pieces of 1/4 inch, just welded and bolts, and it was just hideous. So what we did is took the door off here, and then we're going to take off the rest of the metal and stuff that's in here. You can see what it looks like. A million holes, not supported well. You can see we cleaned up a little of the old fiberglass patching they had going on there. So we got it all cleaned up, and we came up with a plan. Our plan was this: 1x2 rectangle stock, inside and out. We sandwiched the fiberglass there. You can see we got bolts coming through. And on this side, we put a real support and put the latch there so it would line up with the door. So here, you can see we got the piece made up. This will go inside the bucket and overhang for the hinge to go on that edge there. And then this will go on the inside of the door as a backup, just a little stiffener, and we'll bolt through that and bolt through the piano hinge, which you can see here. See, the piano hinge is bolted to the door, and on the other side of that is that metal strip that we made. So that just sandwiches on the door there. See how it works. Here we're gonna fit up. This is gonna be a dry fit, so we can line the door up and figure out where our holes are going. We kept the holes pretty tight so that the bolts didn't wobble around at all. You can see we had to tap them in there a little bit, going through all the layers. What we did was we just stacked the 2-inch 1x2s on the milling machine, and I drilled through both of them at the same time so the holes would all line up. See, we got the latch temporarily mounted up there. We're gonna bolt this temporarily so we can see how everything fits. And we bought all new hardware. We used 1024s. We're gonna use to hold on the hinge to the door and the door to the L bracket, L channel here. And we got new 1/4-20s, and we're going to use nylon nuts and washers in the final fit up. Like I said, right now we're just temporarily going to fit it up. Tighten it, get it tightened up, make sure everything fits correctly. And it actually did stiffen up the bucket a lot once we got these sandwiched on and bolted in. This is my helper Cooper. He's gonna learn the ways. I got my nice handy little battery ratchet here. Love this little thing now. Great tool. We're gonna suck that all in nice and tight. You can see we got the just gonna throw some. Yeah, it was tight to get through. I had to just tighten it through to get it through the hole. But here we go. We're going to put in our nuts. We're going to tighten them up. Make sure everything's fitted correctly. Everything looks good. And what we did was I welded that L bracket right onto that 1x2. Some nice little stitch welds there. So now we got it up there. We're going to hold the door up in place, get it on the latch, hold it pretty straight. And then we'll put a couple self-tappers in the hinge just to get us located. You can see here, we changed how the hinge fit to the door and everything from how it was originally. See, we're going to throw a couple self-tappers in. And this is just to get us, set. See, we just run a couple, one in the top, one in the bottom to get us in place. And then what we'll do here is make sure the door opens and closes. Make sure the latch is latched. And you can see here, door opens, door latches, door holds secure, which it didn't do before. So now it's going to be safe. People won't fall out. Nice and secure. I can really push on it. And I'm no small guy. So what we'll do is along the I don't really trust self-tappers for anything that's going to be secured. So you can see here we're going to drill out. Use a drill out with a 3/16 bit all the holes along the to line up with the piano hinge. And then we're going to put 1024s with nylon nuts to secure it all tight. And then it'll be much stronger than what was there previously with that hideous rusty stuff. Now, like I said, I got all new hardware, so I'm just opening up some of the hardware so that we can get this mounted up. We're not going to actually mount it yet. We're going to leave, we left it temporary. Now we're going to take the door back off, take all the hardware off again, and we're going to bring it in the back. I'll show you, give you a little quick thing of what we're going to do here. Take the door off. I'm going to paint the hinge and inside the hinge and everything. The screws and all that with some white gloss paint. And then Coop's going to start stripping off the that bracing. And we bring it in the back. And we're going to clean it up with a paddle wheel, sanding wheel, disc here. Clean it up, get the, some older metal. It's got a little surface rust on it. So we're just going to clean it up, make it paintable, presentable. So here's the outside piece. Just plain 1x2 with 4 holes drilled in it. Nothing crazy. Speed it up a little. Show you what we're doing. See, we're just going to clean up the edges and get the heavier rust off. And here's our piece that goes from the inside that the door is actually going to mount to. So we'll clean this up. Like I said, I'm just going to get some of the surface rust off and some of the scale off of the angle. That's a hot rolled angle. See the welds right there. It's all we need. Yeah, don't need any serious crazy welds. So we clean that up. Clean up the clean a little of the mill scale off of here and the stickers and stuff. Clean it up nice. And a little hard to get inside there if I clamp it, so I'm just going to run the wheel in there. Now we'll bring it over. We'll paint it with some white gloss Rust-Oleum. Primer and paint in one. Of course, I got to put my rubber gloves on. I don't want to get paint all over my hands. Harbor Freight, 7mm. 7mm gloves. Alright, there you go. See, we're just going to give it a nice quick coat of paint. We'll let it dry for a little while. Let it And we'll put it off to the side. We'll spray this one. You know, quick coat it up. This paint actually covers pretty well. It's their Rust-Oleum 2X primer and paint in one, so paint that. Then we go over here, we got the latch piece. Again, I had self-tappered it temporarily, so I don't really want to trust those self-tappers. So I'm gonna take the self-tappers out here, and one at a time I'll just take it out. Use the same location. I got my 1/4 drill tap, and we're gonna tap that out. Put a 1/4 in lock washer in there, so that it's actually machine screwed in. This is my new weld table, certified weld table. I'm going to be doing a video on that pretty soon, but right now we're just going to use it to have a nice work surface here to do this. I used it actually to weld the angle bracket onto the 1x2 for the hinge. So you can see here, we're just going to zip out the self-tappers. We'll re-tap it to a 1/4. Put the 1/4s in. I did put one self-tapper in the middle, just to disclose that. And there's the drill tap, Greenlee drill taps. We've been using those for a while. Love them. Now I'm looking for my bolt. Where did I put it? Oh, there it goes. I knew I put it somewhere. We got our lock washer and 1/4. Gonna run it in with the battery socket, battery ratchet. Might tell I'm a Milwaukee guy. Pretty much all my battery tools are Milwaukee. So there's the boss, Kevin, Samson Electric. Of course, this is my shop where we do all the fabrication stuff, and he just wanted to make this truck safe. So that was my assignment for the day. There you see we got that bracketing mounted up there. Washers, bolts, nylon nuts on the outside. And we'll put the latch in a minute. And then we're gonna get the door actually put back. We're gonna get the door put up first. So we got all our 1024 bolts. We'll get the door, put that in place. I'll speed it up in a minute here once we get the first couple bolts started. Get the wrenches that he needs, bolts, all the screw tips. You can see how much better it looks from the original, that's for sure. But here we go. See, we got all our holes drilled, lined up for the piano hinge. We're gonna get this door mounted up. Here's the boss again, walking around, lost as usual. He showed up later in the day when we were done. We had all the fabrication figured out and we were painting. That's when he showed up. And he just wanted to see what the final product was going to look like. And we had a couple other things to do on the truck, but this was the important one. So you can see we're going to put a couple bolts top and bottom so I can stop holding the door. And then I'll work on the latch next. But with the nylon nuts, obviously you gotta have a wrench on the inside. So get that tightened up. We did use stainless steel bolts and nuts, and then we painted them anyway when we were done. But you can see the how it's going to be it's much neater and nicer than it was before. There we go. Once we get this one done, you can see Coop really like picks up the pace here. Like 3 times the pace. So we're going to get all these nuts and washers in. So you clean out the holes a little there and make sure everything's lined up, because the holes were tight for the bolts. You can see how got all the parts painted up ahead of time, and then we'll touch them up when we're done. I love when the boss walks around like in the daze. But hey, he knows to put the right guy on the job. He knows when he needs fabrication or building done. Call me. I'm the guy. Here we go. We're going to socket in the thing. Make sure the door latches. There you go. Oh, kick all the drills off the deck. There you go. All right. So that works. Latch works. Needs a little bit of adjustment. So I'll use my little adjuster tool here. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Everything works nice. Coop's going to finish putting all those bolts and nuts on. See, we get the grinder, because then what we'll do is we're going to grind off these bolts right here that were long. Little safety hazard, so we're going to grind those off, clean them up. Boom, 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 boom. Yep. Yeah. Clean up the ones on the latch. I gotta tell the boss to do something. Come on, let's go. Days are wasting. Alright. So we got the paint. We're gonna touch up, all the stuff we just did. Any hand fingerprints, any scratches, any stuff while we were working on it. We gotta get these things all done. It's always nice to finish up and see. We're gonna make sure everything's all painted up nice. I had that piece of metal that was already on the bucket. We paint that up, make it look pretty. And we'll once we get that done, there's the boss inspecting the job. Make him go up there and try it out. All right. So when you call Sampson Electric for electric service, that's who you're going to talk to on the phone. So we got that all done. And then here's what it looks like, finished product. You see the 1x2 tubing, bolts through it. Sandwich we got down on the inside. So you can see the door actually latches. Latch works. Oh, we got it done there. See, we got the inside, that's the angle. hinge mounted to it. There's our latch assembly. A little more secure than it was. Painted, a little protection against the elements. Door latches, holds. See how it's actually strong now. And here's what it looks like from the outside. Got everything pretty much nice. That's our metal piece inside that we made, and there's our latch. You can see that it's closed and latched. And that's it for